have been things living here for millions of years. And everything that lives dies. Here's the question. How come there are not dead bodies, dead trees, dead animals everywhere?
It decomposes, or sometimes, if God chooses.
I heard some people only saying one word, which isn't much of an explanation. But the word I heard was decompose, right? That's what you said. It's sort of a zombie version, you were saying?
No,
So, can you say what you mean by that? Go ahead.
They rot away.
When you say they rot away, does that mean like they rot away, like
they
up into the sky?
rotting, and then I don't know, then the wind kind of blows.
No, they just.
So wind blows them up into the sky?
Yeah.
So dead cows all go up in the sky? The dead trees go into the sky? What do you think?
They decompose, and then there's sometimes when animals come and eat that certain animal that's dead.
So,
That's what I think.
can you give an example of an animal
So,
eating an animal that's dead?
Let's say, for example, a raccoon. Maybe a vulture might come and eat it.
So like a dead raccoon, a vulture comes, eats the, so that's decomposed. So where does the raccoon go?
Into the stomach and then into the soil.
How does it go from the stomach into the soil?
Get pooped out.
Come over here. How could this leaf turn into this stuff, soil? I'm going to ask you to make stages of like this leaf turning into this, to find different stages of it. So for example, this leaf is like in between, right? So you're going to try and see how many different stages you can find from one of these green leaves turning into this soil.
This one's not even brown at all. This should be our medium one right here. Yeah. Look at this one. What's that one? That one's fresh. In the middle? That one. Which one looks more fresh? This one. Really? Well, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it just came off the tree.
What are the characteristics of these pieces of wood that are making you think that they're fresher or older?
This one has more bark on it. This one looks old because it's no bark. And this one has
There's no bark? I think you guys can get some more stuff in here. Because can you look around and see if you can find wood that looks like it's like decomposing, like falling apart?
And look how decomposed this one looks.
Okay.
Ew, it's disgustingly wet.
Over here too.
How about this one?
Maybe like
And then this one at the end.
different.
Close to dying.
And then this one.
Another one right
And then it turns into dirt.
And it turns into dirt.
What characteristics that you see here are making you say this one's more decomposed or this is less
Because
decomposed?
it's brighter than this one.
So you like looking at the
And then
brightness?
there has like these like spots.
More lifelike? Is there anything about the way they feel that you can use?
Like this one, it feels.
These feel rough.
Yeah, those feel like
These feel rough.
And then these feel more soft and more smooth. And then when it gets to here, like it's
And what does that
a
feel
lot
like?
different.
Like old pair of shoes?
Yeah.
What is causing these things to decompose?
They probably fell off a tree and then they're starting to they rot, like decomposition.
They fall off a tree and they rot, but what's making them rot?
It's been there for like a long time in the ground.
So just time makes it rot, perhaps? Decomposers are organisms that break down living things that are dead or waste from things that used to be alive, like poop and things like that, or bones that are left behind. So it breaks them down and turns them into smaller and smaller and simpler parts that become part of the soil. I have some pictures of some suspects. FBI.
I know what they are. Fungus.
Fungus. Oh, okay, hold on. We got fungus. I'm going to pass these around. So the first part of the FBI, the F, is fungi. Fungus or fungi. Fungi is plural, fungus is singular by itself. So when you see, raise your hand if you've seen fungus today.
Yeah. The mushroom.
Oh, cool. So here's some other pictures of ways you can see fungus. Has anybody seen one like this today? Because I know we walked past some of those.
Brown. Oh, it's brown.
Do you see this over here? Sometimes when you look underneath a rock or a log or inside, you see like white threads. That's fungus too. So let's pass that around. Go ahead and take a look at it. Do you know what the B is for?
Bacteria.
Bacteria. Now bacteria is a hard one because it's so small you can't see it without a microscope. But you can see evidence of them without a microscope. So like if you see spots on leaves, That's evidence of bacteria. But spots on leaves can also be evidence of fungus. If the spots are round, a lot of times that's fungus. So if the spots aren't round, it's probably bacteria. So go ahead and pass this around this way. The third one is invertebrates. Insects are invertebrates, but slugs are also invertebrates. Anything that doesn't have a background is an invertebrate. So can you think of any invertebrates? Go ahead and pass that around. What are you thinking of, Ryan?
Worms?
Worms are invertebrates.
Ants.
Are ants invertebrates?
Yeah.
Do they have backbones?
Probably not.
No. Do you think ants are decomposers?
Yeah.
You think that they break things down into simpler and smaller parts to become part of soil? What I want you to do is look around this area and see if you can find any decomposer or evidence of decomposers. So what are you looking for?
Decomposer
Well,
evidence.
well, what's that gonna look like?
Mushrooms.
If you find mushrooms,
Or white thread.
maybe white threads.
This looks like it's rotten. Charcoal.
I found the
That looks like if it's rotten.
Charcoal.
What is that?
Ow. Dead invertebrate.
It's dead. I think it's dead. Dead skin.
Check it out.
I think it's a maggot.
What makes you think that?
Is it alive?
No, it's shredded worm skins.
It feels. How's it feel to you? Touch it. Is it soft or hard?
Hard. It's sticking.
It's hard.
So it looks like we found an invertebrate that is decomposing. So a decomposer, decomposing.
The irony.
The irony. When you get your journals, draw the rectangle in the center, draw the lines, and write these words down here. Turn to the person next to you and tell them what decomposition is. What are some examples you can think of decomposition?
Maybe leaves.
Some leaves? Like leaves that are like what?
Old from the ground.
Old? And how do you know if a leaf is old?
Because it usually has like holes or like cracks.
So an example you might write down then is leaves that have like holes and cracks in them. So that's an example of decomposition, right?
Withered leaves.
Withered leaves is an example of decomposition. Okay.
Kind of it's like rotting away and it's getting all like mushy.
And you can talk to each other and say, you can ask somebody near you, hey, do you think this is a good example of this? Or you don't have to just do it by yourself. Do you think we can decompose it all while we're still alive?
Yeah.
How?
The Donner
Buried
Party.
alive.
Then you wouldn't be alive. But if I'm, like on me right now, do you think any part of me might be decomposing or parts of you might be decomposing at all?
Oh yeah, like when we cut off our nails and the nails like fall off, like they could decompose.
So maybe your nails, if you cut them off and like put them in the dirt, they would decompose? Interesting.
Oh, can't your hair decompose, but it just takes like a long time?
Long
When it turns
long
white.
time?
Yeah.
Long time.
Oh, I got you. Can anybody think of anything else besides for fungi, bacteria, and invertebrates that might be a decomposer? Ryan, what do you have?
Hyenas.
Hyenas?
They're sometimes scavengers and they would pick up whatever's left dead.
So what do you guys think of the hyena idea? You guys know what hyenas are, right? Yeah. Okay, so tell us more about hyenas that you know, Ryan.
I watched a show. People say they're scavengers and just pick up scraps that are there, which they do, but sometimes they kill instead of just picking up scraps.
So like if a lion kills like a gazelle or something, and it's lying there,
Then the hyena comes over
and comes afterwards
yeah.
and eats the scraps that are left
Yeah.
over? Or are you saying sometimes they actually kill the animal and they eat it? Okay, what do you guys think? Would you call that a decomposer?
I think they might be
I think maybe, yeah.
decomposers
Hyenas are decomposers,
like-
or they can help out the process at least.
they like sometimes like get in fights to get
What do you
like
think,
some
Michael?
things to eat
How
too.
about hyenas?
So then when they're done, then like maybe other animals can also come and then start.
But are they breaking down something that
Oh,
used
so
to be
like what he
alive
was talking about.
into smaller and simpler parts going into soil?
Oh, well, that's right there.
Can we catch it?
Oh, God.
Okay, next discussion question.
I used to have crickets.
Do you think that cricket is a decomposer? Turn and talk to the same person. Do you think that cricket's a decomposer?
Yes.
And say what your evidence is.
Decomposer.
Oh, there's no technology.
You don't think it eats dead things?
It just eats grass.
Who's ready to talk with the whole group here?
That's right there.
Let's talk about the cricket. Do you think the cricket's a decomposer? Here you go.
No, because I believe that crickets only eat like grass.
Okay, so maybe crickets eat grass. You'd say then it's not a decomposer if it eats grass?
Yeah.
I think the cricket is the decomposer, and I think that everything that eats is a decomposer, even if it's a vegetarian or like a carnivore or meat eater.
You
It's
just said
because-
something really provocative. He just said, I think anything that eats other things is a decomposer.
that eats anything.
That eats anything. Okay, say more about
It's
that. What makes you
because
say
even
that?
if you're a vegetarian, like you're eating like veggies and plants and like plants can decompose, and like if you eat meat, and that could decompose.
So you're saying that even if you eat meat or if you eat plants, anything that eats those things is a decomposer?
Anything that eats at all is a decomposer.
Anything that eats it all. What do you guys think? Agree, disagree? Agree. Raise your hand if you've got something to say to add to this conversation. That's a pretty interesting idea he just brought up there.
I agree.
Technically, that is right because everything has to eat to survive.
Oh, cricket flew. So let's go back to his point. He says anything that eats anything is a decomposer. Please turn and talk to the person next to you, whether you agree with that statement or not, and say why you agree or you disagree with that statement.
That thing used to be alive.
Yeah, and then it's like a cycle.
Anything that eats things. Somebody name something that eats something.
Cricket.
Us.
We already talked about crickets. So us, like people?
No.
Are people decomposers?
I think people are decomposers because after something's like dead, like a cow, we like fry it and like eat it like steak.
And do we turn it into smaller and simpler parts that become part of soil?
No.
So
Or poop.
so you eat a cow and then you go poop?
Yes.
So you think you're turning cows into soil?
Yes, because I know some people who instead of like using they use like animal poop as soil, and they use human poop too.
Oh, so you know of people taking poop and putting it into like compost to make soil and growing things out of it? So you're saying humans are decomposers because they eat things like cows and they poop them out, and you can use that soil to grow things. We're evolving our definition of decomposers a little bit, aren't we? You know what? You guys are pushing us a little bit. Sometimes when you come up with a definition in science, you realize, oh, that's a little too simple. We have to make it more complicated, because you start thinking about it and go, oh, we got to push on this. And I'm going to push on you guys a little bit too.
No.
Because check this out. When things decompose, they don't just break things down into simpler parts that are part of soil. They also break things down into stuff in the air.
I'm genius.
Oh my goodness, you should get an award, huh?
I want my college degree.
Here's an award. Yes, congratulations.
Can I skip college now?
Yes. PhD. You know what I love about what you guys just did in this discussion? You took me into territory that I have never talked about with anybody, and I've talked about this with a lot of people. You brought into territory I'm like, wow, that's interesting. I don't know. Yes. That is so cool.
We all deserve college degrees.
Can you please pick up a PhD degree in front of you and award it to the person to your left? I'd like to award you a PhD. Oh, thank you very much.